Phillies are looking straight ahead at the final trip of the first half of the season, which launches from Atlanta for the 4th of July weekend. A quick cross-country jaunt and the celebration then turns into a difficult path with visits to each of the top 2 teams in the West. Not only are we celebrating 4th of July weekend, but here at Turner Field tonight, they are celebrating Star Wars. It's Star Wars night here in Atlanta, Georgia. In fact, a lot of the fans have dressed up to come see the Phils and the Braves play Game 1 of a 3-game series. Watch out, Darth Vader is always watching you. Well, you talk about this road trip for the Phils. It's a 3-game set here at Turner Field, and then 4 against the Dodgers out at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers are throwing some big guns at the Phils during that 4-game set, and then 3 games before the All-Star break out in San Francisco. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Matt Stairs as we get ready to start our 4th of July weekend with this ball game tonight against the Atlanta Braves. Phillies are 3-3 against the Braves this season. But, Matt, at the beginning of the year, people wondered where would the Braves and the Phillies be with their rebuilding at this point in the season.
And the Braves did a lot of trades in the offseason and coming in a lot of question marks. They started off the season 5-0. They were doing a lot of good things, did a lot of base hits. But as you can see the numbers throughout the months, the month that jumps out to me is June. 11-16. They were 7 back at the end of June. Really, the hitters were hitting 272, their best month they had. The pitchers had the best 3.89 ERA of the team that month. So they're inconsistent. They don't hit a lot of home runs. They have 47 home runs as a team. They get a lot of singles. That's about it. They have to play small ball as well. The bullpen blew a lot of saves early in the season. They're pitching better as well. But it's amazing how they're jumping up one thing tonight. They have to put up with Julian Teheran. This guy here last year versus the Phillies pitched unbelievable in April. 9 innings, 3 hits, 4 Ks. Everything he threw was very good. Slider was breaking very late, down in the zone, throwing fastball, spotting his fastball, keeping the hitters off balance. When his changeup and his slider's going well, it's very tough.
Yeah, they've talked about him reconfiguring his pitching style this year. They don't want that. They want him to be the guy that pitched last year against the Phils in 4 games, an ERA of 1.17. They think he has heard them, and they think he is back to being the pitcher that the Braves saw win 14 games last year and 14 games the year before. So tonight it is Game 1 of this 3-game series. The Phils and the Atlanta Braves. Adam Morgan will make the start for the Phillies. He's from Marietta, Georgia, just 20 miles away, making his second big league start of the season. Odubel Herrera is back in the starting lineup for the Phils. He's been red hot at the top of the order, getting a chance again. We'll get to the lineups at first pitch here at Turner Field when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. By Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank. One deposit checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Phillies. By Budweiser. Still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IBX.com. R2D2, and I guess Princess Leia making an appearance down the right field line. And obviously security is very tight when you talk about the umpires. In fact, Darth Vader seems like he's attached to the umpires at the hip as they exchange the lineup cards just before the start of today's ball game. Speaking of the lineups, let's take a look at the Phillies lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Leading it off in center field is Odubel Herrera. Batting second is Cesar Hernandez. He'll play second base. Michael Franco hits third, followed by Ryan Howard and Dominic Brown. Cody Ashe's in left field. He'll hit sixth. And the bottom third of Galvis, Rupp, and Adam Morgan. Now they will face right-hander Julio Teheran, 5-4 this year, 4.94 earned run average. All right, so the win-loss record is probably lower than they anticipated, Matt. The ERA is higher. 100 hits in 94 2/3 innings for Julio Teheran.
Yeah, and it's safe to say that he's getting too much to the plate when he's pitching. He's always been relying on a power fastball, and he's gone to more of a sinker type fastball. You can see the Budweiser scouting report, 89-93. He's a 4-pitch pitcher. League is hitting 293 versus his fastball, which is amazing compared to last year. That he's a guy that way too many sinkers are catching the plate. He's not using his four-seam fastball, and he's not pitching to contact. He's trying to nibble, and that's allowing for a lot of base hits off it.
Well, he's finishing up his warm-up tosses. Let's take a look at the Nissan keys to the game.
Well, key number one for me is wait and see which Teheran shows up. Is he going to be the guy that throws two-seamers, or is he going to be the guy that throws four-seamers? And second key is Morgan needs to go deep into the game to give the bullpen a break. They've been used a lot lately, so hopefully he can go as deep as he can in front of his family here in Georgia.
Julio Teheran 4-0 with a 2.35 ERA and 7 starts here at Turner Field. And the Morgan clan is here in numbers. In fact, when the Phillies were introduced, there was a smattering of applause from 1 through 8. And then all of a sudden they said, batting ninth and pitching, Adam Morgan. And it erupted behind home plate.
Nice.
Well, here we go. Odubel Herrera will lead things off. Herrera hitting .262, 2 homers, 21 RBIs. And the first pitch is in there for a strike. So we're underway as we kick off our 4th of July weekend. This is one of the better crowds that we've seen at Turner Field in recent years. They will launch some fireworks afterward. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike to Herrera. Odubel 8 for 19 on the homestands. The ball is inside, as you heard the home plate umpire Doug Eddings say. All right, so the first pitch looked like that four-seamer.
Yep.
But the last two-seamers? Or are they four-seamers?
No, I think they're four-seamers with movement.
Okay. We will keep an eye on that because they did have a meeting with him a couple starts ago. That ball is ripped into right field by Herrera. So Odubel starts the ball game with a single to right. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Thomas Bongard of Langhorne. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, then Thomas will win $100. Cesar Hernandez has hit in 6 consecutive games since the 21st of June. He leads the National League in hits. And fortunately, Herrera reacted on that ball that was hit right on the nose and got back. And there's 1 away.
Well, if you're looking at the first 2 hitters, it's kind of a nice little sign seeing that his fastball's catching too much to the plate. Herrera hits a line drive. Hernandez hits a line drive. You might want to start looking for a slider right now. He's not fooling the first 2 guys.
Well, and Michael Franco is a candidate for that against any pitcher. Either slider or curveball, particularly on the first pitch. Herrera takes his lead off first and the throw over, and he just gets back. Odubel 8 stolen bases, has been caught twice. Now Ryan Lavarnway, who last we saw with the Boston Red Sox, is the catcher for the Braves. Well, there you go. Threw something a little softer, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Lavarnway doesn't hit a whole lot, but he's a very good defensive catcher. keep that in mind when you think about Herrera trying to steal at some point. Another throw over, a much shorter lead for Herrera this time.
Yeah, and everyone talks about when hitters don't play a lot and they lose their timing in the batter's box. Well, when you don't get an opportunity to play a lot, you lose your timing on stealing bases as well. You kind of get caught, you start leaning a little bit, you get anxious.
Out toward left center field, Maben will get there as it hangs up for him. 2 outs. Ryan Howard's coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. You just watch a guy like Maikel Franco, who's playing in his first full season, or going to be his first full season in the major leagues. And you think back to the time when Ryan Howard just got up to the big leagues back in 2004 for the very first time. Believe it or not, guys, he is playing in his 162nd game against the Atlanta Braves. That is a full season against the Atlanta Braves. And you look at those numbers, they are absolutely astronomical. He batted .288, 50 home runs, 140 RBIs. That slugging percentage, 96 runs scored as well against the Atlanta Braves. You see what he's done against the other NL East teams. The numbers are almost equally impressive, but he has really done some damage against the Braves as Herrera is thrown out at second base. So he'll get the lead off the next inning. But when you think about the kind of career that Ryan Howard has had, it really is kind of remarkable. I think sometimes we forget that some of the numbers that he had put up over the years, guys.
Yeah, 50 home runs. That's pretty impressive. They are taking a look at that. At least Pete Buchanan's thinking about. They're holding the defense for the moment. As Pete is looking at Larry Bow, who's on the phone, they're taking a look at it underneath to decide whether Odubel was safe or out. It was a one-hop throw. It looked like he got him. Yeah. It was close, but it did look like he had him. So Pete Buchanan goes back down the stairs. They will not ask for a review, and Odubel Herrera is retired trying to steal. 2-6 on the putout, no runs, 1 hit, and nobody left for the Phils. But the Braves are coming up in a scoreless game. Let's take a look at their starting lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Leading it off at second base, Jace Peterson. Cameron Maben will bat second. Nick Markakis hits third, followed by Chris Johnson and Juan Uribe. Johnny Gomes starts in left field. Andrelton Simmons, the shortstop, bats seventh. LaVarn Way eighth, and batting ninth and pitching is Julio Teheran, of course. And they will face Marietta, Georgia's own Adam Morgan, 25 years old. Now, statistically, he's pitched in 1 game, but he has pitched in 2. The other one just was canceled after he threw 2 innings.
And he threw very well with those 2 innings against Washington. Adam Morgan's a guy that goes out and has a very good slider. He's a guy that keeps hitters off balance. You can see the Budweiser scouting report. Average velocity 90 miles an hour. Slider 81 miles an hour. And his change is 77 miles an hour.
First batter he faces is Jace Peterson. And Peterson takes up and in. Peterson hitting .259, 3 home runs, 35 runs batted in. He was 1 for 10 in the series against the Nationals. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. There you see his overall numbers. That's the pitch that Morgan was getting more of as his first outing was going on. And he needs to command the inside and outside parts of the plate. Ground ball right side. Hernandez to his left has it. One away.
Well, I think the number I looked at while we were doing our scouting report today was that Adam Morgan's first outing, he averaged 13.8 pitches per inning, which is pretty good for a guy that 0-6 in the minor leagues this year, making his first major league, big league start, and being very calm. And we talked about it last time. It was like he was just like it's another game, very calm. Oh hum, here we go again. But you made a good point, though. He needs to get that strike away, and he also needs to pitch inside to some left-handers.
Well, he has faced the Braves before, but it was in a spring training game back in 2013. As Maben lines one to left field for a base hit, a one-out single, his third hit of the homestand. Today's game is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box. Adam Morgan faced the Braves in spring training in 2013. He went 4 2/3. He allowed 1 run, and he allowed 4 base hits. And he said after the ball game, he said, "How awesome is that I faced the Atlanta Braves, a team that he grew up rooting for."
Here he is today.
Up and in to Markakis. 1 ball, no strikes.
Didn't do it on purpose, but it's still a good pitch. Makes you think twice about leaning the head out over and looking for a pitch away.
Markakis 299, no homers, 29 RBIs. Swinging a miss at a breaking ball, and it's 1-1. Adam Morgan grew up, as we said, in Marietta, Georgia, about 20 miles from here. And he grew up coming to Braves games. He played in the East Cobb Baseball League, which is a very well-known one. Fly ball center field. Odubel Herrera is under it. There are 2 outs. In fact, he faced Jason Hayward an awful lot while he was growing up. And when we tell you that he's got some fans here, he's got some fans here.
Right below us. You hear they're giving high fives after every out.
Here's Chris Johnson. Johnson 237 with a home run and 7 runs batted in. Matt talked about Morgan going deep into a ball game. Pete McCann and I were talking for a while today about the starters. And everybody knows the problems of the Phillies starters. The starters have failed to go 6 innings in 13 of their last 16 starts. And it's twofold. I mean, not only do you want your starter to go 6, 7 innings, complete game every once in a while, but it does put a burden on the bullpen. And Pete said, honestly, there have been games during his first few as the Phillies manager where he's left a starter out there even though he thought the starter was done, because he said, I needed to get another inning out of him.
Well, and that's the reason why you're seeing so many double switches this year. If the pitchers aren't going deep into the game, they have to rely on that first guy coming in, throwing 2, 2.5, 2 1/3 innings, whatever it's going to be. And that's why you're seeing a lot of double switches early in the games.
Out toward left center field, Odubel Herrera comes charging in, and he makes the catch with a little hop in his step. Side is retired. Well, the Morgan family excited about the first inning here at Turner Field. Dad Wiley's over to the right as Adam Morgan goes back to the dugout. Vacations Photo Night presented by Now Resorts and Spas. A free magnetic photo frame for all fans. Come out early. Access to the field begins at 5:05. Take photos of your favorite Phillies from 5:40 to 6:10. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Ryan Howard will lead it off. He was up when Odubel Herrera was thrown out trying to steal. And he grounds the first pitch foul. It's 0-1. Murph, did you get everything in that you needed to get in about Ryan Howard and his numbers, or do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I can start over. If no, I think we got everything in.
All right, good.
It's suffice to say he's had good numbers against the Atlanta Braves.
50 home runs. That's nothing to sneeze about. A foul ball, and it's 0-2. That ball got a piece of Ryan LaVarnway. Hey, you think about the 50 home runs that Howard has hit against the Atlanta Braves. Hey, you think about the careers that, let's say, Mike Schmidt had against the Chicago Cubs, or even Willie Stargell had against, well, just about everybody in the National League. I mean, Willie Stargell had 60 career home runs against the Mets. 60 against the Mets, 55 against these Braves, 50 against the Cubs. One-two pitch to Howard, and that one's out toward right field. Markakis comes running over toward the line and puts it away.
Well, I think what's remarkable with those numbers with Ryan Howard is that from the Washington Nationals to the Atlanta Braves, all four teams, they're almost the exact same.
Very true.
Close to home runs, the RBIs, and doing it in this ballpark, which is by far the biggest ballpark in the NL East.
He's got a 3 home run game against the Braves. That was at home.
Yep.
Dominic Brown stands in. Dominic hitting just a .196. Speaking of home runs, Dominic has yet to hit a home run in the big leagues. Inside, he's been missing in that same spot. 2 balls, 1 strike to Brown. It'll be Brown, then Cody Ashe. Dominic is 1 for 12 lifetime against Tehran, who, as we said, had really good numbers last year against the Phils. And Brown strikes out. First strikeout for Tehran. 2 outs here in the second. That'll bring Cody Ashe to the plate, and he is the subject of our Geico quote of the day. Cody was asked about the Phillies and their struggles so far. He said, I think the results, wins and losses, have been worse than I would have thought. But I think what is better than I thought is the way we just play every game hard. And tonight, meaning Thursday, was an example of that. They were down 4-1 and 5-2. Actually, they're down 4-0 and 5-2. And tied it at 7. Pete McCann kind of echoed those same things the last couple of days. Pete was also asked about, the team as a whole before the ball game, because we've played 81 games. And he pointed out a couple of things that, he hopes gets better, but one of the big things was the pitching. He said, I think the guys have it in them to go deep in the game, but they got to start doing it.
Yeah. Well, and it's also nice to see Morgan put a goose egg up there in the first inning.
Right.
Knowing that you're going in the second inning, you're not down 2 or 3 runs. And by no means am I saying that the problem is the pitching, because the offense has been inconsistent the whole year as well. But I agree with Cody Ashe.
There's a line drive base hit to center field for Cody. Philly's second hit of the night.
It's a very good at bat right there. He had a couple pitches early in the count, good change-ups. You're kind of taking, you kind of spit on it. You're thinking, I'm not going to go after it. Then all of a sudden you get a pitch up in the zone. Oh, that nice, easy swing. The last couple of days, wow, I'm in the homestand, and today, first at bat, he's been swinging very well. And there's something behind that swing. He just doesn't want to make contact. He wants to drive it somewhere.
Freddie Galvis pops the first pitch foul over the screen, but it's 0-1. Well, for Ashley, that's now his 11th hit in his last 27 at-bats, which really has helped his average. I mean, he's hitting close to 400 during that spurt. Let's hope he can keep it going into and then after the All-Star break. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike to Galvis. Doug Eddings is the home plate umpire. He's loud. That's good. Jim Wolf is at first. Adrian Johnson at second. And Bill Miller is around at third. 1 ball, 1 strike. And he threw Galvis a changeup, and he fouled it back again.
Good old Wolfie up in first base. One of the best.
He is a good umpire.
You're right, he is. Good person. You can talk to him. He's fair.
And that one's lined out toward right. That'll drop in front of Markakis. Read well by Cody Ashe. Ashe's on his way to third. The throw is cut off. And the Phillies will have first and third with 2 men down.
Well, I like it. The aggressiveness right here by Cody Ashe. Markakis' arm not as strong as it has in the past. A lot has to do with the neck injury. Slides the bag a little bit at third base, but doesn't matter because they cut it off.
Yeah, when I talk about reading it well, I mean, he's going with 2 outs, but he read where Markakis was. Yep. And how he fielded that ball in order to get over to third. So 2 outs, runners on first and third. Cameron Rupp, who was 1 for 16. And on the homestand. And he takes outside, 1-0. Cameron hitting .231, a home run and 6 RBIs. Tehran's had 1 win since the 21st of May. That was on the 21st of June against the Mets. Setting aside that game, his earned run average during that time is close to 8. We've seen a whole lot of Julio Tehran, and he's just got too good of stuff to have a stretch of with an ERA of 8.
Although his velocity has dropped some, though. Makes a lot of difference on those other pitches. Slider, changeup.
Outside. I think we saw that even in spring training. When we saw him, his velocity wasn't the same.
No, didn't we face him 1 game in spring training and it wasn't very pretty for him?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And we were all commenting about there wasn't as much zip.
Yeah, the velocity, the fastball's flat. Doesn't have that little kick that has a little uppercut, the little rise of the 4-seam fastball.
He's behind 3-1. Now he does have the pitcher to deal with, so he's probably not trying to give Cameron Rupp anything good to hit here. Can't catch up to that high heater. And it's 3-2. So Galvis will be off and running on this pitch. First baseman Chris Johnson will play behind him. Phillies trying to take the early lead here in the top of the second inning. They've got runners on first and third. Now time is called. LaVarnway asked for it. Well, it's been raining for a lot of today, particularly this morning here in Atlanta, but it looks like it's going to be clear for the night. Temperatures have been in the 80s for most of the day. Galvis will go. 3-2 pitch. Outside, ball 4. That'll load up the bases. Well, the Morgan family is going to have a little bit of a knot in their stomach right now because Adam is about to walk up to the plate with the bases loaded and 2 men down. His dad, Wiley, is the one in the red and white striped shirt. Murph talked to him during Father's Day in his first major league start. A perfect time for his first big league hit. 0 for 2. Just let it rip. No balls, 1 strike to Adam Morgan. Outside, 1-1. Matt, if you look down and look at the Morgan family, give us a play-by-play of whether they think he should swing or not. It's 25 pitches so far for Tehran here in the second.
I know, but his father looks awful nervous.
Oh, he did swing, and he fouls it away. This is the foul ball, the reaction. That's great. Every family would be that way. At least in the first few starts. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The runners lead off all the way around, and the 1-2 pitch coming to Adam Morgan. Swing and a miss. He got him. Second strikeout of the inning for Tehran. But the Phillies leave him loaded here in the second. All right, well, next time we'll go to the bottom of the second. Phillies and the Braves scoreless here in Atlanta.
That broke the story.
The best source for breaking Phillies news is Phillies insider Jim Salisbury. Catch his reports on Sportsnet Central every night at 10 p.m. and midnight only on Comcast Sportsnet. Jim is not here in Atlanta. He's celebrating Hoagie Fest from Wawa for the weekend. Well, his family celebrates the 4th of July. That was a great moment. You and I were about 3 feet away from him when that happened, and he just dropped his head and smirked after Andy McPhail said that. Known Jim Salisbury for a long time, and he's always been excellent at his job and just a great guy as a whole. Adam Morgan just finished up his warm-up tosses. We go to the bottom of the second. It'll be Juan Uribe, Johnny Gomes, Andrelton Simmons. Normal ritual for Morgan is to go to that rosin quite often, particularly at the end of each inning. Uribe 4 for 11 in the series against the Washington Nationals. And Matt, he has a brand new gamer in his hands. I mean, look how shiny that bat is. The appeal, no swing, says Wolfie, as Doug Eddings just said. 1 ball, 1 strike. One's right out of the box.
Right out of the box. Be great if he breaks it.
That'll look good on the mantle then. Nice and shiny, clean. Braves acquired Uribe from the Los Angeles Dodgers. It was kind of a surprise move. A lot of people thought it was basically a salary dump to a certain extent. But Freddie Gonzalez has said that the Braves knew exactly what they were doing by getting Uribe. He's been one of the best defensive third basemen in Major League Baseball since 2010, and they felt like he would be an upgrade for them defensively. And he's actually hit quite well.
I think it's a great pickup. I was shocked when I saw that he was traded from the Dodgers to come over here.
Alberto Callaspo
Yep.
Was part of that deal. He went to Los Angeles.
Utility guy.
Freddie Freeman, you see the cast or the brace on his hand. He's out since the 18th of June with a bone bruise and an aggravated ligament in that right wrist. That ball's hit well. Johnny Gomes is going to stare at it for a little bit. It is gone. Johnny Gomes hitting just $192, launched his 4th home run of the year. And the Braves take a 1-0 lead.
One thing about Johnny Gomes that he was brought here with the Atlanta Braves is knowing that he can hit left-handed pitching very well. Being a very aggressive first pitch, fastball, middle of the plate. Johnny Gomes was out early today, taking a lot of extra batting practice.
That's a long home run. I mean, that's well over 400 feet.
Yeah, strong man and very short swing.
So 1-0, Atlanta on top. That is only the 48th home run of the year for the Atlanta Braves. Franco will give this a peek, but it's going to be over the Phillies dugout. 48 home runs for the Braves. The Phillies have 50 home runs. Atlanta's last in the National League. Phillies are 14th in the National League. It's kind of what you were talking about during the Open. They don't hit a lot of home runs.
No.
A 1 pitch to Simmons. Inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Over to shortstop off the end of the bat.
Well, even though the Braves have not faced Adam Morgan before in the big leagues, the scouting report is that he's a strike thrower. So that's where they have the attack early mode. You know, Gomez did it there, and then so did some other hitters. And that's where you got to start mixing that curveball, the changeup, because they know you like throwing that first pitch for strikes.
Yeah, I would think that's a good assessment. I would think he's the kind of guy that you can attack early.
And even though you haven't seen him before or faced him before, 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and he likes to get ahead.
LaVarnway takes up high, and it's 1-0. LaVarnway hitting .250 with the Braves, making only his 4th start. Let go by the Baltimore Orioles earlier this year when he was hitting .107.
LaVarnway, he was a big prospect for the Red Sox.
Huge. Yep.
And everyone was talking about, if we're going to trade for the Red Sox, this is the guy we wanted.
Pops that one up near the mound. Morgan sees it. And Howard will, well, again, he's taller than Freddie Galvis, so he'll make the catch, and the side is retired. But Johnny Gomes has given the Atlanta Braves a 1-0 lead. He launched his 4th home run of the season. That ends an 0 for 12 stretch for him. And the Braves take the early lead as we go to the 3rd here at Turner Field. Go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, Matt, the question is, which Braves announcer had 15 consecutive innings with 200 or more innings, 15 consecutive seasons with 200 or more innings pitched? Answer will be revealed a little later on in the game. What are you looking at?
See if I can see him.
I don't think he's here tonight.
He was.
Oh, yeah?
Nice try, Tom.
Julio Teheran has a 1-0 lead to work with. Top of the orders coming up for the Phillies. Braves have a couple announcers that you could choose from. Paul Bird's here tonight.
No.
You're not going to choose him?
No.
All right, I'm going to stop right there because I'm running out of. Odubel bunts at it and misses, according to the home plate umpire. Said he offered at it. It's 0-1. Tom Glavine, I don't know if he's here tonight.
He's not.
No. Curveball outside corner, 0-2. Is that all I have as far as pitchers go in the Braves telecast? Odubel stays alive and rolls it over toward Juan Samuel. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Nationals have jumped out to a 2-1 lead over the Giants. I guess it's not really jumping out when it's in the top of the 8th inning. Clint Robinson, a 2-run home run for the Nats. Forgot that game started early. 6:05 first pitch. Ground ball. Foul. Chris Johnson makes a nice play. Freddie Freeman is the normal first baseman. Freddie apparently will start playing in games over the All-Star break with the minor league affiliates. At least that's his hope. He had a shot the other day, but the shot takes 10 days to rid the wrist of discomfort because the shot causes that discomfort.
Right, and Freddie was having a good season. Hit .299, driving the ball to the ballpark, playing solid defense. Got to be careful with those wrist injuries, though. You don't want to come back too quick.
Curveball lifted in the air, shallow left field. Simmons backpedals, tells Johnny Gomes, I got it. And there's one out here at the top of the third. Well, we've seen that with Jason Worth. And Jason's had the wrist injury, and he's aggravated it a couple different times. He's on the disabled list again with it.
Yep.
Mark Teixeira is another example of a wrist injury that caused him problems for a couple years.
Yeah, it's an injury where as a hitter you feel useless because that's where you generate your powers, your forearms and your hand strength, and being able to whip that bat to the zone with your wrists. A lot of them has to do with the people getting hit by a pitch at times that sets it off.
Mm-hmm.
I was very fortunate, never had any problems with my forearm or my wrist. But think about all the swings you take, tee work. You could be out in front of a baseball and sprain your wrist a little bit that way.
Yeah, he tried to play through it for 10 days or so.
Mistake number one.
Yeah.
You're just irritating it more and more. It's one of the injuries, that and obliques, that you just got to sit back and let it rest.
Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike to Hernandez.
Did Nomar Garcia-Parra have a bad wrist as well?
Yeah, he could have been. I think he had that a couple different times. There's a broken bat liner caught by Simmons. The head of the bat goes up the first base line. And 2 outs. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Budweiser is still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. Two outs, and Maikel Franco, the National League Rookie of the Month for the month of June. Ball got a piece of the mask of Ryan Lavarnway.
Ooh. Buster Posey took one of those the other day.
He did. I believe he left the game.
Yep.
After taking that.
4th inning. Then he played first the next day. Some of those foul balls coming back on those foul tips, probably about 100 miles an hour.
There's a line drive toward left field. That'll be in for a base hit. Gomes will cut it off at the track, and Franco puts the brakes on. So a 2-out single. And it'll give Ryan Howard a chance to bat here in the 3rd. Braves are 3 players away from matching their franchise record for the most used in a season. They've used 47 players already. They've had 11 players make their major league debut. We were talking about that at Yankee Stadium when the Phillies played the Yankees, how many guys they've used. The record for the Braves is 50 in 2007.
Wait, the record for what? For the Braves?
For the Braves, for most players used, is 50, and that was in 2007.
I mean, 47, that's not even. We still got September coming with September call-ups.
Absolutely. 2-0 to Howard. The Yankees were just taking guys up and down the minor leagues for
Straight
a
shuttle bus.
week time.
I remember in Kansas City in 2000 and whatever it was, 5, 6, 4, 3, whatever. And we were terrible. It felt like we went through about 100 players. I guess that'd be 2004.
2004.
Yeah. See, I got to think about it. There's so many teams I got to go backwards and count or start from the first. 3-0 green light.
You think he had the green light, or he just
I don't know.
They gave him a take?
I wouldn't think they'd give him a take. And then you give Chooch a 3-0 green light the other night. Man's got 50 home runs against the Braves.
Tried to hold up. He went around. It's 3-2. Franco will be off and running on this pitch. Ryan Howard said, hey, why don't you just ask?
Ryan Howard's 100% right.
Franco goes. 3-2 is pulled toward first. Johnson was hugging the line. And the side is retired. 3-1 on the putout. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. The Phils have left 4 so far. Adam Morgan goes back to work at the bottom of the third. Health is all we do. Call 1-800-JEFF now or visit jefferson.edu. And buy your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer or visit DelValHondaDealers.com today. Bottom of the third. Julio Teheran will lead it off. Adam Morgan. A visit to the rosin. Teheran hitting .077. He has 2 hits and 26 at bats. Take strike 1. It's 0-1. Go back and look at the progression of Adam Morgan after the shoulder surgery. He missed 684 days. I mean, that's like a lifetime in the world of baseball. 684 days between, I should say 684 days between victories, which is a lifetime, but over 600 days with the injury. That one's tapped foul. Reading a story today about his progression. He talked about being in Clearwater last year. He said it was fine during spring training because everybody was there, and then all of a sudden everybody went to their teams. And he looked around and he was really one of the only people there. And he said for the first time in his career, he had to decide the difference between a good soreness compared to pain, or regular soreness compared to concern. Dominic Brown read that one, and he makes the catch. He said that was part of the difficulties and the obstacles of coming back from a shoulder injury. You know, he'd throw one day, he'd be a little sore, and he would think to himself, well, is that normal?
Right.
Or am I hurting?
Yeah,
first out.
Sorry, I wasn't doing the game. His first major league start. Ben was here, and you guys were talking about his quote, talking about it's a learning experience.
Yeah.
He's like, "Now, what do you mean learning experience?" And
out toward right center. Here comes Brown. He'll make the sliding grab.
now he was saying it's such a learning process of respecting the game and wanting to get back there and not taking nothing for granted.
He also talked about his support staff, and he meant his family, obviously.
Right.
But he also said his teammates. I mean, guy behind the plate, Cameron Rupp, one of his teammates. You know, Cody Ashe, guys like that he came up the system with. Cameron Maben singled his first time up, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1.
We haven't seen many sliders tonight. A lot of fastballs. A few changeups.
Well, there you go, Matt. Is that a changeup?
Yep.
Now, Markakis, when he was up last time, he got a slider.
Yes. After the fastball inside.
1-2 pitch. Inside with a fastball, 2-2.
Slider down and in, setting it up.
He's mad at himself on that one. Galvis waits on that one. He better not wait too long. Maben still runs well, and they throw him outside as retired. It's a 1-2-3 third inning. 35 pitches through 3 for Adam Morgan. Little sigh of relief as we go to the fourth. WB Mason, providing amazingly low prices on kitchen disposables, consumables, smallwares, and so much more. From your new restaurant partner, who but WB Mason. Hello with Matt Stairs and Greg Murphy. I'm Tom McCarthy. Julio Teheran warming up out on the mounds. Phillies trail at 1-0. A home run by Johnny Gomes is the only run, as Dominic Brown will lead it off. Dominic waves over the top of a breaking ball. It's 0-1. Dominic Brown also has ties to this area. Went to Redan High School, which is about 20 minutes away from here in Atlanta. He also went to high school in Florida during his amateur career. But he likes coming back to this area. He always has friends that are coming down to see him. One ball, one strike. Inside, 2-1. Dominic Brown strikes out for the second time. 3 strikeouts for Teheran. And one away. Cody Ashley's coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. Well, you know, of course, today is game 82 of the Major League Baseball season for the Phillies. So starting the second half mathematically is the team. And Pete Mackanin was asked before the game today if he had any kind of message for his team as they approach the second half. And he said, yeah, he's talked to a couple of the guys individually. He said, all I'm asking these guys to do is just go out there and do their job, embrace their role on this team, and go out and do what you're supposed to do each and every day. Everybody knows how the first half went. The numbers are not good. The 27 wins. It's only 33% of the games that they've won this year. They're last in runs scored, dead last in run differential as well. The team ERA is down there. But according to Pete and the conversations that he's having with these guys is, look, you know, we've got some work to do, but this is probably a better team than we've put out over the first 81 games, and that's what he's expecting in the second half of the season. Don't worry about anybody else. He said, stop looking around at your teammates and just look in the mirror and do what you're supposed to do. He said, if everybody does that, things will be better in the second half. You know, they may not, turn it around completely, but he knows they're a better team than they're playing right now. And he just thinks that, you know what, go out there and have some fun and enjoy the journey. You're playing Major League Baseball. Have some fun with it, and the good results will come.
Yeah, he also talked, Murph, about the offense. He said that at times the offense has been good. At times it's been terrible. He said we have to find that consistency somewhere. He said it's going to have to come from the younger guys, the guys like Ashe, the guys like Freddie Galvis, Maikel Franco. They have to find that consistency. And he also said they have to stop making mistakes, little mistakes. He said because those little mistakes in a 27-win season are exaggerated.
And I agree, but it comes with experience. And you're going to have to take the lumps and the bumps with the young players of inconsistent at bats,
right,
making mistakes, base running. The game has changed where when you're called up from the minor leagues to the big leagues, they teach you everything, and you know everything when you come to the game, and now it's just a learning process. But when you have a young team, you're going to have those type of mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it was interesting that to that point, he spoke specifically, or was asked specifically about Cesar Hernandez, because he has been really good since getting a chance to play every day, since Chase Utley has been on the disabled list. However, you know, Pete said, look, we love what we're seeing. You've got to love his offense right now. You got to love the way he's running the bases. He's always been a good defensive player, but he wanted to see, you know, that baseball IQ, as they call it, his ability to think about situations and to do the right thing all the time. He wants to see that improve. And he says, I think we've seen some improvement over the past year and a half with Cesar Hernandez, but it has to keep getting better, and that's when he'll become a very good player.
3 balls and 1 strike to Galvis.
Yeah, and I'll agree 100% with that. And I think you start seeing guys making improvements when they know their name is in the lineup on an everyday basis. And then now the game slows down. They realize what's going on. They don't try to do too much to impress people by having 4 at-bats and thinking you need to hit, 4 doubles or something, or going first to third when you shouldn't.
On the outside corner, 3-2 to Galvis.
It's all about when they get an opportunity and they relax and they realize they're going to be in there, then everything's fine. I mean, look at Michael Franco. We talked about last year. Too aggressive in the strike zone. Spring training, the same thing. Now all of a sudden,
he figured it out.
Takes time.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Galvis. Way outside, ball 4. Murph, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How far do you think you are from home plate?
Well, I would say I'm roughly 457 feet from home plate. Now I'm about 458, and now I'm 459. That's the way it works.
I just was wondering if you were if you knew how far you were.
Got to be aware of the surroundings at all times, Tom.
2-out walk to Galvis. Here's Cameron Rupp.
I was expecting one of these big questions like. I should have known better, though.
That's fouled back, and it's 0-1. Cameron walked his first time up. Really short lead for Freddie Galvis.
Freddie does have a very short lead at first, but he has a very good secondary lead, which is fine. Sometimes guys will get a big lead and their secondary lead will be like a 1 shuffle stop. Freddie has a smaller lead. He's got a very nice double shuffle, and he's getting well out that 15-20 feet off the bag.
That was a hanger. Cameron Rupp lifts it into shallow center field. Simmons makes the catch. Signs retired. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left. We played 3.5 on to the bottom of the 4th here at Turner Field. With a double cheeseburger and small fry for just $2.50. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. And by Budweiser, still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. Last of the 4th inning, it's 1-0. Braves on top. On Sunday, July 19th, All fans 15 and older will receive the Pennsylvania Auto Theft Prevention Authority travel mug. Tickets can be purchased anytime by going to Phillies.com. Did we ever solve the coffee mug issue with Larry Anderson?
Yes, I found out some crazy glue. Okay. We're good to go.
Larry's coffee mug, the handle of the coffee mug broke off, and it was traumatic for him, was it not?
Brutal.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to tear up a few times.
So we all gave him a mug. So he now has 6 mugs with each of our names on the mugs on his desk. But he wanted the one he's used for the last couple years. I was afraid when he was gluing the handle back on that he was going to glue his fingers together. As Markakis leads it off, 1 ball, no strikes. Up high, 2-0. Markakis slide to center his first time up. Outside, and the count is 3-1 to Markakis. 27 multi-hit games for Markakis this season. He's among the leaders in a couple of categories, including singles. Does have 16 doubles. And there's ball 4. That is the first walk issued by Morgan. And it'll bring Chris Johnson to the plate. Chris Johnson went around, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Up and in, and 1 ball, 1 strike. All right, Matt, what do you like about Morgan? What do you like about the way he's handling this game and these Braves hitters?
Well, I like the fact that he throws fastballs inside, lefties and righties. He'll throw any pitch at any time. Besides the last 6 pitches, he's been down there in the zone. He pitches at the knees. His delivery. Now, I was sitting here watching his delivery. With his windup and his delivery, it looks like he's going to throw a lot harder than he does. I think it can throw off hitters. He has like a power windup. Everything's nice. The tight rotation. He pushes off well off the back leg, and then he throws 91.
Outside, 2-2. You wonder if the velocity will heighten even more because, guys that have shoulder injuries and shoulder surgery, a lot of times they lose an awful lot on their miles per hour.
Well, I mean, he's gone through a lot of strengthening programs and a lot of long tossing. It'll get stronger.
I don't know if it has to, but it would be beneficial to maybe
it's always
get a couple more. Yeah. I told him about our comparison the other day where we did the split screen between his motion and Cliff Lee's motion, and he smiled, and he said, yeah, he has adjusted his mechanics, but he said he by no means adjusted them to look like Cliff Lee. Ball was smoked into the Phillies dugout. Right over the head of Scott Sheridan and Chris Mudd, 2 of the Phillies athletic trainers. Got him. First strikeout for Morgan tonight, and one away here in the fourth.
Very good location, good arm speed. Changeup, slider. It's hard to determine if that's a slider because his slider's 78, his changeup's 80. Whatever it was an off-speed pitch. It was a good one.
Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Uribe popped out to third his first time up. .247 with the Dodgers, .305 with 5 home runs with the Braves. He had an emotional farewell from Los Angeles. He was upset when he left. 5 years with the Dodgers, 2 with the Giants, where he won a world championship. I didn't think he would leave San Francisco after he won that world championship.
Yeah, I didn't either. Big part of that team.
That's a foul ball, a towering shot down the left field line. So at a Major League scoreboard, the Marlins and the Cubs are facing off at Wrigley Field, or did face off at Wrigley Field. Marlins win it 2-1. Justin Bour, his home run was the difference.
It's 4 in 4 days.
First pitch, maybe. He swings a lot of first pitches.
Chance.
Ground ball back toward the middle. That could be 2. Hernandez waited for it. Now has to hurry the throw, and it's just in time to get Uribe. Side is retired. No runs, no hits, and nobody left. We've played 4. We'll go to the 5th. The Phil's searching for some offense. We go. Which Braves announcer had 15 consecutive seasons with 200 or more innings pitched?
Don Sutton.
Don Sutton is correct, from 1966 to 1980. Don is in the radio booth for the Atlanta Braves. There is Don. Talking to him today, he said that we were just talking about Ryan Sandberg, and he was asking about Rhino's resignation, and he said that Hall of Fame speeches, because obviously Don's in the Hall of Fame, so he's up there. He said could be the best one that he's heard.
Really?
Ryan Sandberg. Yep. Said he talked about integrity, talked about playing the game right, talked about playing the game hard.
Old school.
Old school. 0-1 pitch to Morgan. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Morgan struck out his first time up against Tehran. To the right side, Tehran can't get it. Peterson does, flips it off the glove of Johnson. And let's see how they score that. Adam Morgan is safe at first. And they score that a base hit. That's the first major league hit for Adam Morgan. They just threw the ball into the Braves dugout.
Well, he has lots of time right here, but he decides to throw a missile instead of just doing a nice easy flip. He had some hair on that throw.
He sure did. I think they were a little unsure. Was it a hit? Was it an error? Well, it is a base hit, so Adam Morgan has his first major league hit. And that'll bring Odubel Herrera to the plate. And the ball has been tossed into the dugout. Chris Mudd has it. Odubel bunts it toward third. Uribe will pick it up. He had trouble getting it out of his glove, but just gets Herrera. They'll score that a sacrifice. It'll be 5-3 on the putout as Morgan goes to second. So runner in scoring position for Cesar Hernandez. Cesar is lined out sharply to second and softly to short. He's 0 for 2. And he pulls that one into right field, a base hit. Morgan's to third. Is he being waved home? Yeah, he is. The throw will go to second. Hernandez was hesitating and he's tagged out. The Phillies have tied it up. It's an RBI single. It's a 1-1 ball game.
I think those are the comments that we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Mistakes.
That's exactly what Pete was talking about. In fact, he pointed to the base running mistakes that Cesar has made, that he's got to be better with that. I understand what he was doing. He's trying to, make sure the throw doesn't go home, but there was no chance of that throw going home. That throw was going to second from the outset.
Well, and I think, he does a nice job getting the base hit right here and scoring Morgan very easily. But this is where you got to watch the play. It's in front of you.
Yeah.
Markakis has a good arm. I don't know. I don't get it.
But that's some of the stuff that Pete was talking about today. There's Hernandez. Yeah, he's got to know that there was no chance that throw was coming home. Markakis was deep and right. And when Pete was talking about things have to get better, that's exactly a lot of what he was talking about. The instincts and just that they have to play better. 1 ball, 1 strike to Franco. Inside, 2-1.
But the problem is, though, that's something
basic.
You shouldn't have to be able to. It's almost literally impossible to teach at this time of your career in the big leagues. Watch the ball. If you think you can get there, you go. If not, parachute comes out. You go back to first base or second, wherever it is.
Two balls, 1 strike to Franco. 2-2. Out toward left center field. On the run is Johnny Gomes. He's not going to get it. It's going to be off the base of the wall, and Franco will get to second base with his second hit of the night. Well, that's where the base running mistake by Cesar Hernandez weighs heavy. Whether he would have scored or not, it depends on the jump, but he would have at least been at third base on that double by Franco.
And it never fails. I mean, this is a very nice swing on a slider, middle of the plate, and it never fails. When you make a mistake on the base paths, there's always a ball hitting the gap that you know that he would have scored very easily on.
So a runner in scoring position for Ryan Howard, who's 0 for 2. He's flied to right and he's grounded out. Broken back ground ball up the middle. Simmons behind the second base back. Phillies are retired here in the 5th inning. They do score to tie it up. It's an RBI single by Cesar Hernandez that scored Adam Morgan. Now it's time to take a look at our T-Mobile game changer as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And Morgan will get set to face the Braves for a 5th time. It's the home runs. We talked about it before. The Braves with 48, counting the one by Johnny Gomes. And for the Phillies, they have 50, so that's 2. That's second, I should say. And here is Johnny Gomes. This was the 48th for Atlanta.
Yeah, Johnny Gomes didn't take a whole lot of time. Didn't want to see another pitches, but one gets a fastball up in the zone and very short swing, and strong man hit the ball to left field.
Matt, just so you know, Adam Morgan is still in search of his first major league hit.
They changed it?
The official score has changed his infield hit to an E4. Johnny Gomes takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Well, I thought it was kind of nice of them to give him a hit. I thought it was an error.
Thought it was nice. I don't know if I would have changed it, but I thought it was nice as well. Swing and a miss.
Question is, if they didn't score a run, would they have changed it?
It's an excellent question on your part. I would say no. Oh, 2 pitch to Gomes. Up and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And he got him. Foul tip, and Rupp hangs onto it. 4 strikeouts. Or I should say 2 strikeouts for Morgan. It's time for the official playbook, brought to you by Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank's Champions in Action is a unique program that rewards small organizations that create big changes in the community. To learn about Champions in Action and how to get involved, visit citizensbank.com/community. At Citizens Bank, we want to help you bank better. So the next time you have a question about money, don't keep it to yourself. Ask a citizen. Simmons grounded out to shortstop his first time up. Fly ball out toward right center field. Dominic Brown into the alley, gets there and makes the catch. And there are 2 outs. And Ryan Lavarnway is the hitter. One ball, no strikes.
I don't think they enforce that rule, Tom, just to let you know.
Which one, Matt?
The batter's box, leaving the batter's box
No.
after pitches.
I walked by Odubel today, and I wanted to ask him, so how much have you been fined this year for stepping out of the box?
Unbelievable.
Now, they can step out with a foul ball.
Right, there he can, but
Yeah.
the pitch before that, he steps out and he's asking questions.
In the dirt, 2-1. Two-one pitch to Lavarnway. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
That's such a good changeup. His fastball, it tails a little bit, 2 seamers to a right-hander. It just looks like he gets the front of home plate and just drops. Very good speed on it, too.
2-2 pitch. Got him. Went out of the strike zone with it. 3 strikeouts for Adam Morgan. A 1-2-3 5th inning. We'll go to the 6th. All tied up at 1. all around Major League Baseball. At third base, Mikel's glove has been sensational, and his arm is fired like a cannon when called upon. His bat has not disappointed anyone, swinging to an average in the high 300s during the month of June. Franco's power and production has been plentiful, connecting for 3 home runs and 10 RBIs in the first 2 games of the Yankee series alone. His offense and defense has been special and are brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, Pete Buchanan has watched Adam Morgan throw 5 effective innings so far. Yeah, that's a good thing from a Phillies standpoint, because the Phillies pitchers, the starters, since June 1st, the starters are 2-16 with an ERA of 6.79. And just talking to Pete today, he said, we've got to get these guys to go deeper in the game. He said, I know that they're trying. He said, but we got to get them to go deeper in the game. Dominic Brown will lead it off here in the top of the 6th inning. He has struck out twice. It'll be Brown, Ashe, and Galvis. On the outside corner, Adam Morgan, 2 hits allowed over 5 innings, 3 strikeouts, just 63 pitches. Fly ball center field. Cameron Maybin has it lined up. And Cody Ashe's coming up to the plate.
Now, this is the time of night as a hitter.
Yeah.
And as an outfielder, take nothing for granted. You hit a ball in the air, you need to get out of the batter's box and keep running, because it's that twilight time where it's hard to see.
Yeah, about 15 minutes ago, there was a ball out to right field toward Dominic Brown where I thought initially he would have trouble with it also. We talked about it the last time the Phillies were here in Atlanta. There's no lights out in the outfield. The light stanchions are basically in foul territory from the left field pole around to the right field pole. 2 balls, no strikes to Ashe.
Which, as a hitter, I used to love. Because you can see where the catcher moves behind you. You can see where the shadow's going. So if he's coming in, the shadow gets smaller. If he goes away, there goes the big shadow.
It's interesting. I never thought about that from a hitter's standpoint. I always think about it from a fielder's standpoint. Yeah. New ballpark will have lights in the outfield. At least that's what we were told. Pitcher's pitch, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wrigley Field does not have lights in the outfield. They're all on the top of the stadium. Swing and a miss. Ashe is struck out, 2 away. That'll bring Freddie Galvis to the plate. It's time now for our cold hard fact.
That's right, Tom. Thank you very much. Brought to you by Coors Light. And it's about the young guys. Since last Friday, Cody Ashe, Freddie Galvis, Cesar Hernandez, and Odubel Herrera, all of whom are 25 years or younger, have combined to hit .417. That's 40 for 96. 6 doubles, a triple, a home run, 10 RBIs, 6 walks, and 15 runs scored. That is the good news. That is not even counting what Maikel Franco has been able to do. However, here is the bad news. The rest of the team just batting .193 in those 7 games. So they're not going to be able to do it just by themselves for sure.
Well, those are good numbers for the youngsters. And it is true. I mean, we kind of been following that for the last several weeks. Part of the good news, bad news for the Phils.
Well, the good news is Maikel Franco's not on there. Another part of the good news is 5 of the players play every day. So it's more than half your lineup.
That's a good point. Out toward right center field. And Maybin has it. A 1-2-3 inning for Julio Teheran. His first 1-2-3 inning of the night. Braves. The Braves scored their run in the second inning. The Phillies scored theirs in the fifth. In other action, Anibal Sanchez has a no-hitter through 7. That game's in the bottom of the 7th inning against the Blue Jays. That's a tough lineup to no-hit. Well, any no-hitter is tough, but that's a tough one. We take it back to September 6, 2006. Flashing back against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Anibal Sanchez at Old Dolphins Stadium, Joe Robbie Stadium, whatever you want to call it. He was dealing. This guy's a good pitcher. He hasn't had the best of years for the Tigers this year. And there is the final out. It was a close play at first base. You remember how close it was? Eric Burns nearly beat the throw. So Sanchez working on his second no-hitter. Boy, it seems like every night we're saying that somebody's got a no-hitter through 6, through 7.
Perfect through 6.
Yeah. Tehran takes high. It's 1 ball, no strikes. In the dirt. He didn't get him to go fishing. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 3 strikeouts for Morgan. All 3 have happened in the last couple of innings. Now the 2-2 pitch. Foul down the right field line. He's trying to finesse his way through Tehran here. Chopper out toward Galvis, who has it a step or so from the infield grass. 1 away. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. By Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. ShopNissan.com. Well, if you want a history of Fulton County Stadium and everything else as far as the Braves go, you can wander around the concourse and find that down in left field, I believe. I went out there with Sarge one time because there was a photo of Sarge. We wanted to take a picture of Sarge next to the photo of Sarge.
Seems like there's a photo of Sarge in every ballpark.
Two and 1 to Jace Peterson. Peterson hitting .284 on June 24th. Since that time, he's 4 for his last 39. So he's had a good year, his first full year with the Braves, but he's coming back down to earth, which happens for a young hitter.
What happens for a young hitter when they start getting off to a good start is now all of a sudden you see a lot more film on them, breaking down their swing, scouting reports.
Checked his swing. Oh, a foul tip hung on to by Rupp. 4 strikeouts for Adam Morgan. Slug your way to the Home Run Derby crown and master the free award-winning game millions are playing. Download MLB.com Home Run Derby free on the App Store and Google Play. Star Wars night here at Turner Field. There's some stormtroopers that are walking around as if they're guarding the ballpark. They've been wandering around the lower level throughout most of this game. Maben takes low. Over toward third, just past the stretch of Maikel Franco. Maben will get to second on that one, and Ashley's throw goes toward third. It's a 2-out double. Second hit for Maben. Just his 9th double of the season.
It's a fastball inside, just under the glove of Maikel Franco at third base. Almost looked like he dove over top of it.
Yeah, I honestly thought, just from watching him play, that he was going to get it.
Yeah. I think we assume or expect him to get it.
You talk to, we're coming into a city that hasn't seen him play, and you talk to people around the press box. They were excited to see him play. Not only play third base, but just play overall. Well, you got Yoda on your side, and it's an uphill climb for everybody else. Markakis walked his last time up, fly to center his first time. A 1-1 game. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. On the outside corner, 1-1. Just missed a little low. It moves the count to 3-1. 7-3 ball count for Adam Morgan. That's a close pitch, but ball 4. Second walk issued by Morgan. That puts 2 on with 2 outs. And Chris Johnson coming up. Not an early bird. Then tomorrow afternoon is your chance to check out the new morning show that Philly is waking up for. Watch an encore edition of Breakfast on Broad tomorrow afternoon at 4 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Well, Bob McClure heading out to the mound. Give Adam Morgan a breather. Chat a little bit about Chris Johnson. Johnson's good against left-handers. The Braves early on were very good with runners in scoring position. This is only their second at bat with a runner in scoring position tonight. Johnson has flied to center. He's also struck out. This is probably the most extended inning for Morgan. 19 pitches. Freddie Gonzalez, Kevin Seitzer chatting in the dugout.
Seitzer was an awful good hitter, wasn't he?
He was a good hitter. That ball goes right between the 5-hole Cameron Rupp. The runners will move up. It'll be a wild pitch. Runners on second and third.
First pitch changeup. It's a change. I think just pulled the changeup between the legs of Cameron. We don't see that very often.
Well, that's a good pitch there. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Smothered by Rupp. Adam Morgan trying to work out of a tough spot here with runners on second and third, but he does have 2 outs.
Good time for a sac fly right here. Yeah, both looked at me like I was crazy.
I think there are probably people at home thinking, what did he just say? There's 2 outs.
That's the saying down the bench. 2 outs, runners in scoring position, hit
Baseball
a sac fly.
talk. Chopper over the head of Bo Porter. Softly out towards second. Hernandez is up with it. Throws over to first, and Morgan works out of the jam here in the 6th inning. A little heavy lifting with 2 men down. He leaves 2 in scoring position. Yep, the Morgan family says he had it all the way. We'll go to the 7th in a 1-1 game. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda dealers game summary. It's a good ball game. It's a 1-1 game. Phillies have 6 hits. The Braves have 3. Adam Morgan has been fantastic. And truly, we've seen 2 games plus 2 innings. And he's been different than some of the other pitchers the Phillies have had. And that's a good thing.
Yep.
4 strikeouts over 6 innings. Tehran's been good as well. The Braves have to be happy about him. So now we begin the top of the 7th. And Cameron Rupp will lead it off. Rupp is 0 for 2. I should say 0 for 1. He walked his first time up, and that one's down the left field line. And Cameron is going to head towards second. He better hurry. The throw is not in time. I should say the throw was in time. The tag wasn't in time. They may review this one. Adrian Johnson is walking in.
Well, the heads-up play right here. It's good hustle right here. Yeah, I don't know. It almost looks like he slid into the tag.
But was the tag high?
Exactly.
Let's look at it here. Yeah, he's in, Matt. Tag was high. He did slide into it eventually, but it looked like he got the corner of the bag. Well, they will review it. Adrian Johnson's to your left. Bill Miller's to your right. New York will take this in their own hands and take a piece of it. They are seeing a different angle here at Turner Field than what we showed, and take a look.
See how the toe is up? He's not on the base yet.
Yep, you're right. Is he on the base there? See, that's what I don't know. Now they're showing a different angle here at the ballpark. It's this one right here. Yeah, I can't tell. And I'm being honest about it. I don't know if it's going to be conclusive enough for them to overturn this or not. Do you know what I mean, Matt? Unless they're seeing something different from the Braves telecast, and their angles are fairly similar to ours.
Right, and I mean the umpire's standing right over top of it, watching the glove, watching the heel of the foot.
Can't tell if his heel is on the bag or not.
That's the biggest thing. Is it's going to be his heel touch first, then his toe touches the glove.
Well, this one they're probably going to look at for a few moments. Take another look. These are the angles that we have that we're showing you, and New York has as well. See there, I don't know if the heel is on the bag or not. Here's another one. Is the heel on the bag before the tag? That's hard to tell. See there, it looks like the heel, the spike is on the bag, and the tag was at the toe. Does that make sense?
I agree.
Adrian Johnson had a great view of it. He was, as Matt said, he was looking right down on it.
Standing right over top.
Well, here comes their decision. I think. Yep, here it comes. Adrian won't make it. Bill Miller will make it. Bill Miller signals out. Boy, I really did not think there was enough evidence to overturn that. You know, there were angles where it looked like he was out, but the ones we showed you the last couple looked like you couldn't tell whether the heel of his spike was on the bag or not. So it'll be a single and then 6-4 on the putout. The shortstop Simmons hustled out to make that play. Adam Morgan takes on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Morgan thought he had his first major league hit his last time up, but it turned out it was an E4. But he did score the tying run. He's 0 for 2. This one again to Peterson, a little easier play for him. 2 outs. Well, that play was right in front of Cameron Rupp, but give Simmons credit. I mean, he was hustling down the line to get that ball and make that throw.
Well, and that's what's called knowing your ballpark. Ball hit down left field line, and he runs over and plays it off the wall. Off balance throw right on the money.
The outside corner to Odubel, who has 1 hit and 2 official at bats. A sacrifice his last time up. Big rip. 0-2. Luis Avilan is warming in the pen.
Pitch number 100 coming from Tehran.
We mentioned some of the numbers for Tehran. Last 7 games overall, 1-3 with an ERA of 6.14. Now, he did have a very good outing on the 21st of June against the Mets. Held the Mets without a run. But that's really the only good start, aside from this one, that he's had in his last 7 games.
Well, for some reason why he has confidence pitching versus the Phillies.
Over toward third. Uribe knocks it down. He may not have a chance to throw him out. He doesn't. And Odubel will safe at first. It'll be an E5.
This is the ball that Mike Schmidt was talking about the other day with the left-hander hitting those ground balls to third base. The spin on it, how it gets on top here very quick, and then last second it goes to your right a little bit because of the spin. But I like the fact that he shortened up on a swing and used the part of the left field to hit the ball hard on.
Well, now Cesar, who had the RBI single his last time up, thrown out trying to stretch it into a double. Odubel gets back. Good move by Tehran. Hernandez had the base running error after that base hit. He was thrown out trying to stretch it to second. It's pretty soft over there at first base, doesn't it, where the dirt is?
He's almost balking with that move.
I thought the same thing on the previous pickoff.
Yeah. The reason why is this back foot is supposed to go back past the rubber, then you spin.
Correct.
And he is going to the side of it, making the strong throw to first.
These are awfully close. Now that one was a little bit better, that move.
That's a jump. That's a
right.
Jump and spin.
Yeah, it's true. Toyota Major League scoreboard. Well, Ezekiel Carrera, his base hit broke up the no-hitter, but the Tigers still lead the Blue Jays 8-1. We'll have another no-hitter update at some point this weekend. Down the left field line, out of play, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. I should say 2 balls, 1 strike. No, 2-2. It's 2-1. The board just switched it back. Now you got a 0 in on 1 with the count 3-1. Big gaps in left center field and right center field.
And Herrera, get on your horse.
He can run.
Yep, you got to go right now. 3-1. You want to throw a strike. You have to throw a strike, especially with the guy on deck.
He doesn't go. And there's ball 4. The walk puts runners on first and second with 2 men down. Phillies Baseball Academy is open for boys and girls ages 6 to 14. You get professional coaching and skill development from Phillies players, coaches, and Baseball Academy instructors. It includes official Phillies Baseball Academy uniforms, a trip to Citizens Bank Park, many weeks and locations to choose from, a camper reunion night. Go to PhilliesCamps.com for more information. Call 610-520-3400. Roger McDowell, who's turned into a very good pitching coach, out to the mound to talk to Tehran. They're going to let him go with 107 pitches. They do have bullpen activity. Avilan was up, and I think he's still up for Ryan Howard. So the conversation is over. Lead off first and second. He couldn't hold up. Michael says, yeah, I went around. Total agreement with the umpire. Velocity has been maintained by Tehran.
It's going to be interesting, though, with this at bat. Is he going to throw sliders for strikes? Because you got to base it down the left field line on a slider and a double to left center on a slider.
Chopper over toward third, handled by Uribe. Throws to second in time, and the side is retired. No runs, one hit, 2 men left. Time to stretch here at Turner Field. It's a 1-1 game. July weekend. It's a 1-1 game, bottom of the 7th. And Adam Morgan gets ready to go back to work. Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team, 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. That ball is hit well. Towering shot deep to left field. Ashe going back, and Uribe has just given the Braves a 2-1 lead. Seventh home run of the year. Sixth one with Atlanta.
To the location of the changeup, slider up in the zone. Comes back in her half, and Morgan knew it as soon as he hit it.
So the Braves are on top by 1. Here's Johnny Gomes, and Gomes takes on the inside corner. Jimar Gomez warming up in the bullpen for the Phillies.
So that's where the chat and the dugout right now should be. It doesn't matter. You need to score anyway. I mean, it's 2-1. So what? You still had to score when it was 1-1.
Absolutely.
So nothing changes.
One away. Gomes strikes out. 5 strikeouts for Adam Morgan. Time now for a Hyundai defensive play of the game, and this is a good one from Andrelton Simmons.
Well, it was very good. I mean, hits the ball down left field corner. Simmons comes over and plays it off the carom right here. Off balance, throws a strike to second base. Quick tag. Cameron slid onto his foot. I think that's the reason why they overturned the call. Right there.
Brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers. Simmons fouls it off the first base side. And it's no balls and 1 strike. Simmons is 0 for 2. He's grounded to shortstop. He's flied to right. Phillies 8th inning. They'll have Howard, Brown, and Ashe due up. Fly ball left center field. Herrera says he has it. And they're 2 gone. And the Barnway's due up. Boy, Morgan is still seething out on the mound. He just threw the ball hard into his glove because of that home run. He hasn't made many mistakes at all tonight. I mean, the 2 home runs have been mistakes. I thought that one even more so than the Gomes home run.
Well, I mean, the Gomes one's a first pitch fastball, which I don't think is a mistake. It's down outer half, and the guy hits it out of the ballpark. It's when you hang a slider or a bad changeup.
And the Barnway has a base hit. And Yuri Perez will come up as a pinch hitter. Bob McClure is going to go out and just give Adam Morgan a little scouting report. This happens quite often when a pinch hitter comes up. No reason not to allow him to just finish this inning off if he can.
Oh, absolutely. Got a lefty on deck. Might be a little different if a guy's coming off the bench who's a huge threat of hitting a home run. And I'm not saying Perez is not a huge threat, but
he's only gotten 33 at bats this year, so 10 hits in those 33 at bats. Short lead off first. Lavarnway does not have any speed whatsoever. Under 10 pitches for Tehran after 7 innings, 1 run not earned. In the dirt, blocked by Rupp. Over toward third, cut off by Franco. It's a fair ball. Side is retired. Great job by Adam Morgan. He's given up 2 runs here tonight, both on solo home runs. He's thrown 7 innings for the Phils. This is the reason why the Braves have the lead. A pitch up in the zone. Juan Uribe did not miss it. That home run is 7th of the year. It's 2-1. Braves on top. Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. And buy W.B. Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. 2-1. Braves on top. We go to the top of the 8th inning. It'll be Ryan Howard, Dominic Brown, and Cody Ashe. Changes for the Braves. Yuri Perez stays in the game to play left field after pinch hitting, and Luis Avilan 2-2 with a 3.23 ERA. Interesting, his numbers are better against right-handers than left-handers. He's only allowed 2 home runs. I know he had somewhat of a rough year last year, but this guy's been pretty solid for Atlanta. Jeff Francoeur has come out in the on-deck circle to pinch hit for Dominic Brown. That you kind of expected.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's you got to play the odds. Lefty, lefty, righty, righty, whatever it is. But Avilan's got a very good fastball. Tops out at 95. Changeup 76 to 79, and a curveball tops out at 80 miles an hour.
Well, he's got Ryan Howard to deal with here. Howard only has 1 hit against lefties in his last 29 at bats. The overshift is on. Inside. 1-0. One's flared out towards center. Maven comes in. One away. Jeff Francoeur will be announced as the pinch hitter. It's time for the Major League Notebook. Murph.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. It's brought to you by St. Joseph's University, and the Yankees and Alex Rodriguez have come to some kind of an agreement in terms of money that he was due because some of the historical milestones that he reached. So numbers that were in his contract, he reached those numbers, but there was an impasse whether or not he deserved that money. Well, today they announced that $3.5 million will just be donated to charities that are connected to both Alex Rodriguez and the New York Yankees. So a positive ending to that story, as $3.5 million is going to be split among 4 charities. Not good news for the Detroit Tigers tonight. Miguel Cabrera had to leave their game with what they're calling a calf strain. He was part of a hit and run. He was running from first base and pulled up lame in that game. He's going to have an MRI tomorrow. Things not going well for the Detroit Tigers of late. We talked about how they have struggled through most of the month of June and the start of July, and now they may be losing their best player. Miguel Cabrera going to have that MRI tomorrow, guys.
That is a tough guy to lose.
Yes.
It's shocking to see what their numbers are. The Tigers, we mentioned how the Phillies have been struggling, obviously. 8-27 or 8-26 in the last 34 games. Well, the Tigers 13-20 over the last 33 games. Jake Diekman warming up in the pen for the Phillies. Ground ball over toward the hole. Simmons was shaded that way. 2 outs here in the 8th. Extraordinary moments happen every night in baseball, but on one night they all happen in one place. Cincinnati. Don't miss the 86th All-Star Game. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern Tuesday, July 4th on Fox. Here's Cody Ashe, who's 1 for 3. Nine pitches so far for Avilan, or 8 pitches, I should say. 6 strikes. And he's gotten 2 quick outs already. And it's 0-2 to Ashe. That left a mark about 4 feet in front of home plate.
Comes a 2-seamer inside. Hopefully he can back it over the plate.
Got him. Ashe strikes out. A 1-2-3 8th inning. It's only the second 1-2-3 inning of the night for Braves pitching. Bottom of the 8th inning is upon us with Atlanta leading the Phils 2-1. Weekend will take place from Friday the 31st of July through Sunday the 2nd of August. The Phillies Wall of Fame Fathead free to all fans on that Sunday. Friday the 31st, Pat Burrell will be inducted into the Phillies Wall of Fame. All part of a series between the Phils and the Atlanta Braves. Get your tickets by going to Phillies.com. Not a nice night for baseball here in Atlanta. Good crowd on hand, a little more than 33,000. Fireworks afterward. Jeff Francoeur stays in the ball game to play right field for the Phillies. And Jake Diekman will be the new pitcher. He'll face Jace Peterson, who is 0 for 3. He's grounded out, flied out, struck out. Adam Morgan did a very nice job tonight through 7 innings. He allowed just the 2 solo home runs. Unfortunately, his offense has not managed more than 1 run. 98 pitches. So now 3 starts in July for the Phillies staff. First 2, 14 earned runs in 10 innings. Tonight, 2 earned runs in 7.
What I was very impressed with tonight about Morgan was when he was up in the zone a few times, he was able to make the adjustment quick and throw different pitches. He can back down in the bottom of the zone. It was a changeup or a slider. And a lot of young pitchers sometimes think they need to throw a little harder to get it down in that zone, where he was subtracting a little bit and getting the ball down the bottom of the zone.
Well, Pete Buchanan, I mentioned it. We had a long conversation today about the starters. He was hoping beyond hope that Morgan could give him at least 6 tonight, and he got a little bit more. And now all he's hoping for is a little offense in the top of the 9th inning. The first a scoreless 8th here for Jake Diekman. Jim Johnson wandering around. Looks like he's going to be the guy pitching the top of the 9th. And a strike 3 called. Well, here we go with Adam Morgan. Matt, take us through it.
Well, I mean, he was very smart. He had a very good slider right there. That's been his best pitch. That's why the league was hitting as it was, very low against him. But just doing a very nice job throwing changeups, slow curveball, slow slider. You know, being able to hit the spots when he needed to, and like I said, making the adjustment when he had to. You know, the key was 98 pitches. He threw 59 strikes.
Maven takes way outside. It's 1-0. Maven has 2 hits and 3 at bats tonight. His average up to 286. For Cameron Maven. And that brings speed to the base paths for the Braves as Nick Markakis is coming up.
see the infield's playing straight up. Outfield's playing a slight opposite field. I think you could almost go a little farther opposite field as long as you throw fastballs away. This is where you have to pitch to your defense. If they're playing the opposite field, don't throw a slider. And if you do, you better bounce it low and away.
Got to be careful with a fastball in a little bit too.
You could get away with a fastball inside a little bit better than a slider.
Yeah. Just because of the crispness of it.
Right. I mean, you have to, if it's a fastball inside, it's a left-hander, the way Diekman throws with his arm angle, you really got to cheat to get the barrel out.
Fastball way outside, 1-2. 96 on that fastball from Diekman. Aaron Harang, the former Atlanta Brave, on the disabled list with plantar fasciitis. He's going to be with the club this weekend, but then probably go get some treatment back in Philadelphia. The runner goes, pitches hit foul. In fact, he and Jerome Williams are with the club right now, but they won't go on the West Coast leg of this trip.
They're going to head back to Florida, to Philly. Or
That's
to
a good question, Murph. What did Pete say? He said, did he say back to Philadelphia or back to Clearwater?
He said he said back to Philadelphia.
Yeah,
they were headed back to Philadelphia to do their rehab. Yeah.
Runner goes again. 1-2 is hit out towards center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. So the Braves now have 2 on with 1 out here in the 8th inning. Don't forget, coming up after the ballgame, Ricky Vitalico returns to the analyst chair and provides an inning-by-inning breakdown of tonight's game. Pure Auto Insurance presents Phillies postgame live, coming up next right here on Comcast Sportsnet. He goes inning by inning. He's going to be there all night. Pete Buchanan's going out to the home plate umpire, and I believe they're going to make a double switch here. So Diekman's night is done. Gomez is going to come in. Ben Revere is going to enter the ballgame. So pitching change here in Atlanta. The Phillies trail at 2-1, and the Braves are threatening. And a new left fielder for the Phils. Ben Revere will come into play left and will bat 9th. The new pitcher will be Jenmar Gomez. He's coming on because there was a right-hander due up named Chris Johnson, but Braves are going to counter with a left-hander. Gomez, 35th game, 0-1, a 1.62 ERA. Kelly Johnson will be the pinch hitter for the Braves as he walks up to the plate. Markakis at first base, Cameron Maybin at second. Johnson 259 with 6 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Fly ball on the infield. Infield fly rule will be called, and there it is. Bill Miller makes the signal, and there are 2 outs. So one pitched by Jenmar Gomez gets the out. Here's Juan Uribe, who homered his last time up. He is the difference right now in this game.
I don't think there's a very much of a secret right now, knowing that the Atlanta Braves are very aggressive hitters. They swing early and often.
Outside 1-0. That ball gets away from Rupp. He did a heck of a job trying to block it, but it just popped up in the air and was too far in front of him, so the runners move up on a wild pitch.
Slider pretty much spiked out in front of him. Quick feet, though. He does get his glove over to block it and keep it in front of him.
W. Mason delivery of the game took place in Uribe's last at bats.
Yeah, this is the 7th inning. This is the go-ahead home run. First pitch slider, Adam Morgan. As soon as he knew it, both guys knew. Makes the game 2-1 in that situation right there, and that's why that's your W.B. Mason delivery of the game.
The pitcher's spot is up next, and that's Pedro Siriaco, who's in the on-deck circle. Out towards short, caught by Freddie Galvis to the side. Is retired. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left in scoring position. One last chance for the Phils. Freddie will lead it off when we come back in the 9th. Wednesday, July 22nd, after the 105 game against the Tampa Bay Rays. Tickets can be purchased for that 3-game series anytime by going to Phillies.com. Top of the 9th inning, Phillies trail it 2-1. Jim Johnson will take over for the Atlanta Braves. Jason Grilli is the closer, but Johnson has shared that role at times this year. 12 straight scoreless outings dating back to the 9th of June. Jason Grilli worked the last couple days. Johnson did also, but Grilli getting the night off.
Well, Jim Johnson has a very good arm. Fastball 93, 96. Curveball 78, 81. And a good change at 87 to 90.
Freddie Galvis will start things off for the Phils. Inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Kelly Johnson stays in the ball game after pinch hitting. He's over at first base. And that one's hit sharply off the glove of Peterson into shallow right field. And Galvis will hold up at first base, so he's aboard. They'll score that a base hit for him. That's his 2nd hit of the night. He's hit in 5 straight. Jim Johnson is on the Orioles all-time saves list with 122. Tippy Martinez was both a reliever and a starter. Greg Olson was a good closer for the Orioles. Rupp is 1 for 2. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Up the third base line. That'll trickle foul. 1-1. Wondered about Cameron Rupp's sacrifice, and Cameron has sacrificed just 3 times during his professional career. Tried to hold up. They appeal. No swing. This is Jim Wolf. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Check swing, not even close.
They really tried to tie him up again, and this time Rupp fouls it. Phillies lost 4 straight to the Milwaukee Brewers. They lost 2 of 3 to the Washington Nationals on the homestand. This is the start of a 10-game road trip. Inside, 3-2.
You sending him?
I'm not. Are you?
Yes. Slow to home.
That's a hot shot towards second. There's 1 and 2. 4-6-3 double play. And that'll bring Ben Revere to the plate.
I mean, Cameron hits the ball very hard. I mean, takes a big feed right here. Good feed. But there's no slide at second base.
He just kept on going. He needs to try to break that up.
He needs to slide and try to break it up. You have the distance of the body length because you have to be able to reach second base.
Yeah, and Simmons kind of casually took it across the bag.
Correct.
So you could have disrupted him. 1 ball and no strikes to Revere.
Now from this angle, it looks like he, from up here, it looks like he could have maybe got a foot on him.
Right. Over the glove of Johnson into center field, a base hit for Ben Revere. So Revere's aboard, and now Odubel Herrera will be coming up. Well, Ben has consistently found a way to get on base.
He has.
We'll be back on the air on Sunday for the finale of this 3-game series. By the way, we won't be on the air tomorrow, but tomorrow is a very special day. It's 4th of July, Matt.
Yes, sir.
And you know what that means?
Someone's birthday?
It's Ray Tipton, our director's birthday. Happy birthday, Tip. Did you wish him happy birthday yet?
I did.
JD, did you wish Ray Tipton a happy birthday? John Rutledge, our statistician. Jennifer, our stage manager. Jennifer did wish Ray happy birthday.
I knew you would.
Happy birthday, Tip. In honor of Tip's birthday this year, they're celebrating the game of baseball.
And they're going to shoot fireworks.
In Cincinnati for the All-Star game, and there'll be fireworks everywhere for him.
That's how important he is.
Yep. Odubel has a hit tonight. He takes low, 1 ball, no strikes. Fly ball left field. Going back on it is Perez. He's got it lined up, and the Braves are taking game 1 of this 3-game series by a final score of 2-1. Bill's got a couple base runners here in the 9th inning. One was erased on a double play. The other one is left stranded over at first base. Both pitchers were solid here tonight, but Johnny Gomes and Juan Uribe each hit solo home runs, and that turned out to be the difference in this ball game for the Atlanta Braves. And it was also all that our Chevrolet player of the game, Julio Teheran, needed tonight to pick up the victory.
Yeah, Teheran looked very good early in the game and throughout the game. Fastball, had very good movement. I thought today he had a very good slider like we saw last year in April we faced him. But he just had that thing where it's just dipping last second, that slider. You think you're going to hit it, especially with the left-handers, you're swinging right over top of it. So, like you said, you only needed 2-1.